This CodeNation volunteer training video goes over the lesson internalization and prep to lead teach for Intro to Web Development. If you are a fellowship volunteer, this is not the correct video for you. In this video, volunteer coders will prepare for lead teaching by internalizing the lesson and posting materials on Google Classroom. We know that our curriculum has a lot of parts, which is sometimes hard to manage when you're lead teaching. This video will go over all of the parts that you need and all of the steps you'll need to take in order to be prepared for lead teaching. You'll need to prepare the following materials in order to feel ready: the lesson slides from GitHub and Google Classroom posts of the Do Now in Popcode, the independent practice in Popcode, and the exit ticket question. Here are the steps you'll need to follow. We'll go over all of these steps in detail in this video. The first thing you need to do is grade the exit tickets on Google Classroom. You'll need to click into last class's exit ticket and you'll see all students and their answers. If they chose the correct answer, you'll give them 1 point, which will count as full credit. If they gave the incorrect answer, you'll give them 0 points. If they did not attempt it, which means they didn't answer the question at all, you should also give them 0 points. But if they were absent, you can leave their question ungraded. Use the attendance app to check if you're not sure. Make sure you note any misconceptions. So if a lot of students answered the same wrong answer, try to figure out why. And then click return, or students will not be able to see their grades. The next thing you'll need to do is find this week's slides on GitHub. You should bookmark our GitHub so it's easy for you to find. Then if you click into Intro to Web Development and the unit that you're in, you'll see the session slides. You'll need to make a copy of this week's slides and put them in your team folder on Google Drive. This folder was created and shared by your program manager, and the folder gives all teachers permission to edit the slides. Next, you'll need to read through and make adjustments to your slides. So you should read the teacher prep slides, read the student slides, and make adjustments as needed for your class. Use the data from last class's exit tickets to see if any review is needed, and change any activities that you want to make them more relevant for your class. Next, you'll need to internalize the activities and supporting documents. You should complete the live coding popcode so that you are ready to do it live in class. Complete the independent practice popcode so that you'll know what students need to learn by the end of class, and make sure that the guided notes and homework sheets are printed. These will probably be printed by your teacher liaison, but you should check with your program manager to make sure. And then delete the teacher prep slides so that your presentation is ready to be viewed by students. Next, you'll need to schedule the 3 posts on Google Classroom. To post on Google Classroom, you'll go to the Classwork tab and click the +Create button. Lesson slides should be posted as an assignment, while Do Nows and exit tickets should be questions. I'll now go over how to post all 3 of these assignments and then show you a screenshot afterwards. So the first thing you'll need to schedule is the lesson slides to post on Google Classroom. You'll make the title, the number, and name of the lesson. The instructions will be the lesson's objective and vocabulary as found on the slides. You'll make the lesson slides ungraded with no due date and place it in the topic of the current unit. Next, attach a link to the lesson slides from your team folder, not from GitHub. Attach a link to the Medium Independent Practice popcode and schedule this to post at the beginning of your class. You'll see this all in the screenshot, where this is posted as an assignment for all students with the title of the unit and lesson number and name. The instructions is the objective and the vocabulary. It's ungraded with no due date in the correct topic, with a link to the slides and a link to the popcode, and you'll see that it's about to be scheduled. Next, you'll schedule the Do Now to post on Google Classroom. The title of this should include the number of the lesson and the words Do Now. The instructions should be copied and pasted from the Do Now slide. Do Nows are ungraded with no due date and placed in the topic of the current unit. Attach a link to the popcode activity and make sure that students are not able to reply to each other, otherwise they'll be able to see everyone's answers. You can allow students to edit their answer in case they make a mistake. Schedule this to post 10 minutes before the beginning of your class. So in this screenshot, you'll see that this is a question for all students with the unit number and lesson number and due now. The instructions copy and pasted from the slides, ungraded with no due date and the correct topic, with a link to the pop code. And you'll see that students cannot reply to each other, but students can edit their answer, and it's about to be scheduled. Finally, you'll need to schedule the exit ticket to post on Google Classroom. The title should include the number of the lesson and the word exit ticket. The question should be copy and pasted from the exit ticket slide. Exit tickets will be worth 1 point with no due date placed in the topic of the current unit. Change the dropdown from short answer to multiple choice, and then write in the answers from the exit ticket slide. You can also use the letters A, B, and C if the answers are too long or if it's a block of code. Students should not be able to see the class summary, or they'll be able to see other students' answers, and you should schedule this to post 10 minutes before the end of your class. You'll see from this screenshot that it's a question with the unit and lesson number and exit ticket. The instructions are the question. It's worth 1 point with no due date in the correct topic. I turned off that students can see the class summary, and I have the answers to the question, and it's about to be scheduled. And the last step for getting ready for lead teaching is to communicate with your team on Slack. You should post a link to the slides in your Slack channel so that support volunteers and your program manager have time to review the material before class. You'll also see that I included the objective and some parts that I think will be difficult for students and what I need help from my support volunteers. We know this is a difficult process. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your program manager. We're here to help.